I'd like to firstly apologize for my voice. I'm just waking up. And no, it's not 2, 3 o'clock in the morning like how some YouTubers are out here trying to grind all day and night. I woke up at my regular time and I'm just decided to do this first instead of doing what I need to do for the rest of the day. As you all may or may not know, the LG Tone is something that I've been using for the last 7 or so years. These right here are my reliable HBS 770s, and I've thoroughly enjoyed using these as my main workout headphones. In fact, really my only workout headphones. I put them around the neck like you're supposed to, and pop the little earbuds into my ear, both ears, and I go on about my business. I'm able to listen to the music in relatively high quality for Bluetooth, and I've really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, about 2 weeks ago now, I was a little lazy when I was vacuuming, and instead of picking them up off the ground and just moving them out of the way, I attempted to nudge them out of the way with the vacuum cleaner, and the vacuum sucked in one of the earbuds and now has damaged one of the actual little cords that connects to the earbud. So here, it's a little hard to see, but yeah, it's just getting worse as time goes on. The little white parts that you see throughout the wire, those are the things that are now sticking out. And when you put it in your ear, it might work for a few moments, but then you get a lot of distortion and static, and it's no longer usable. Is it possible to fix this? Maybe. I could take it apart and, yeah, you just have to replace the entire thing, which I'm sure is possible. For the $20 that I spent on these earbuds, yeah, 7 or so years ago, they definitely served their purpose. And I think it's time to move on. The only thing that I was definitely like, okay, I really think, regardless of if I could repair it or not, the only thing that I was really thinking, okay, it's time to let it go, is the fact that it still charges via micro USB, which is fine. I mean, there are other devices out there that still use micro USB, but since this is literally the only device that I still use on a regular basis that charges this way, I said, okay, maybe it's time to upgrade to something that actually charges via USB-C, because that's how I charge all of the rest of my devices. So that leads us to today's product. And in the background this entire time, you've seen Willow Smith, who these celebrity endorsements, and I could not care less when I see their faces, because paying them somehow just adds to the expense of whatever product that I'm trying to buy. I don't need celebrity endorsements. So good on her for getting some money to have a picture of her taken. But we come down here to the LG Tone neckband, and we see that LG is currently selling 4 of them. I will note that if you scroll down a little further, LG has also pivoted to the truly wireless earbuds. And it's good to see that most of them, well, really all of them, have good ratings for the wireless earbuds. But if you come back up to the neckbands, it's just been a common theme with LG Tone neckbands that it seems that customers have issues. So we have 3 stars here, 3 stars here, 4, which is good, and this 4.5, which is really what piqued my interest for the LG Tone NP3C. Now, I did have to ask, well, what's the difference between the NP3C and the regular NP3? My guess is going to be that the C stands for cheap. So we're going to go ahead and click compare. And that's, whoopsie, stupid interface that it moves when you scroll over it. All right, good on you guys. So add 1 to compare. And I'm going to add the second one to compare. And let's just compare these two. Now, I don't want to say that this website is useless, but let's scroll down and see what type of information we actually get. So we get the rating, 3.7 versus 4.5. Google Fast Pair, yes. Multi-pairing, no. Swift pairing, no. TV control, no. Active noise canceling, no. Ambient sound, no. Fast charging, no. Fast pairing, no. Google AI dedicated key, no. Optimized for Google Assistant, yes. Retractable earbuds. I mean, it says no, but even that's wrong. So they're retractable. So I don't know why that's for both of them listed as no. Wearing detection, no. Wireless charging, no. External hi-fi DAC, no. Surround sound, no. ADA compliant, no. And that's it. So there's nothing else really on this compare screen that would give me any pertinent information about the product. So if I just click on it, which this is not a link, so I can't click on it. So let me close the compare. And let me just come here, all specs. And it's essentially the exact same thing on this page. So completely useless when it comes to what this thing is offering. And what's weird is that right here, the overall review rating has gone down. Useless webpage, absolutely useless. So now it says 3.8 stars, but here, clearly, that's higher than 3.8. So just useless website. So you have no idea really what you're getting when it comes to this product from LG's website. Yeah, you could probably go to Amazon and get some more information, but I decided that I wanted to buy something new. I wanted to get something in store because I didn't feel like waiting, because I go to the gym almost every day, and I did want a replacement for my current LG Tones. And I said, you know what? Let me go to Sam's Club. Sam's Club actually happens to have the LG Tone NP3C for sale for the same price, which kind of sucks. I was hoping that it would have been a little bit cheaper at Sam's. So I went to go pick it up. Here is the packaging, and it's empty, as you can see, because I've already opened it. A very generic packaging. I don't know if this is because it was sold through Sam's that they said, hey, what's the least expensive way we can throw something together? No nice box, just something that you have trouble getting into when you do purchase it, which, believe me, yeah, you just cut off the top, but it would have been nice to have like a nice little box. So around the front, you have the actual LG Tone, which, again, it's empty right now. And along the back side, you have the accessories. So you have the USB-A to USB-C charging cable, as well as, it looks like, replacement earbuds. I didn't take them out of the packaging because good chances are I'm probably going to return this. And I'll tell you why in a few moments. So here we have the actual device right here. Again, this is the LG Tone NP3C. So here we actually have the device. Again, this is the LG Tone NP3C. And it's actually pretty comfortable. I can just put it on my neck like that. It's a little crooked, but that's okay. I think that's just more my my bad posture than anything else. But it is actually really comfortable. I like that the neckband is really rubbery. So when it's on your neck, you kind of just forget that it's there. You know, you have it on and boom, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and you move on. So I will say that there are a few issues that I'm having with the device. It's not necessarily LG's fault. It's just, well, this device isn't going to satisfy the needs that I have when it comes to a Bluetooth accessory. Later in the video, I will pair this with my computer so you can hear exactly how it sounds. But for the time being, I'll say that even though it is comfortable, even though that the price was okay, even though that it feels like it's a relatively decently constructed product, the first issue that I had is not the fact that they are retractable, but how cheap these little wires feel. I know that because it's retractable, they probably can't be as robust as I'd like them to be, but it feels like every time that I pull this, it feels like I'm going to rip something. And because this is how this operates, I don't want something in my hands that just feels so delicate. So yeah, I'm just being extra careful right now, even though I'm sure in their labs, they probably rated it to be pulled, I don't know how many thousands of times, but it just feels extremely delicate. And the only thing that I really have to compare it against are my older LG Tones, which, yes, are not retractable. So the sheath or the protective rubber that's around the wire can be a little thicker, but I just felt that this was an extremely solid device right here. And yes, you might say, well, it wasn't strong enough to withstand a vacuum cleaner. No, it wasn't. But for the past 7 or so years, yeah, I did not worry at all about these wires getting damaged. Wish I'd cared a little more about that, when I was vacuuming, but whatever. The other issue that I'm having with the device is, even though from that camera angle, so you can see there's one right here. So there's a big button right there. And if I get the lighting, maybe, yes, there it is. It's hard to see. Where is it? Over here. There are two more big buttons. And I'll just take it off. So you can see them now. So there's the big circle right here. And then there's the plus and the minus right here. And when you look at the packaging, you can see that that's what they talk about right here. Big buttons for simple operation. And when they say simple, they mean simple, because it appears that even though you can do everything that you normally do with the Bluetooth headset with this particular product, it almost feels like it was designed only for one purpose in mind, and that was to make phone calls. What is this thing missing? It's missing audio controls. So I can turn the volume up and down. I can answer and end phone calls. But what I can't do is fast forward through or back on audio tracks. And if I can, it's a triple press or something, which I attempted to do stuff and I wasn't able to figure out how to do it. And even when I was listening to music, I did press this little guy and I believe the Google AI Assistant popped up. So what I'm referring to is the fact that a lot of your products will have dedicated buttons to toggle forward or backwards. And that's what this is missing. Even a dedicated play and pause button, which this newer product is missing. And on the other side, yes, it still has everything for your volume up, volume down, ending, and answering phone calls. So this older product is just more equipped. And you might say, well, that's the difference between the NP3C and the NP3, which, based on LG's website, I still don't know the difference between the two. So maybe that's just what the NP3 is all about. Just, hey, this is for making phone calls, not for listening to music, which that's a real big miss, in my opinion. Like if this were a $20 product, I'd say, you know what, perfect. I can't complain. But for $70 after tax, I would assume that at this point in time, when it comes to Bluetooth headsets, is just the bare minimum. Answer and end phone calls, volume up, volume down, fast forward through and back from when you're listening to music. Okay, so whenever I get more information, I have to come and clarify things. So I did suspect that it wasn't the app necessarily that added functionality, which it does, but it gives better clarity. For what it's showing me right now, I thought I already tried these things, but seeing it in text definitely confirms, okay, this is what I need to do. So when the device is in standby mode, yes, you press the circle once, it plays the music. You press it twice, voice command. You press and hold the plus button, whatever that says right there, vibration notification on or off. When music is actually playing, yes, pressing the little circle button is for play or pause. Pressing and holding the volume up button goes to the next song. Pressing and holding the volume down button goes to the previous song. So I thought I had tried those already, and I thought the volume just went up or the volume went down, but maybe I just wasn't holding it long enough. I don't know. I just wanted to come back and clarify what I originally said. Yes, you can go back and forward, and as I suspected, from a cost-cutting perspective, instead of having dedicated hardware buttons to do those jobs, we now have multi-use buttons for playing, pausing, rewinding, and going forward. I still feel that this device in particular really wasn't made for listening to music, though, or they weren't trying their best to make your listening experience as immersive as possible. And the main reason I feel that way is because when you go into the settings on Android for your particular Bluetooth device, it'll let you know if there's some type of HD audio codec or whatever that's a part of the device. And from looking at this screen right here, we can see that, yeah, you can listen to music, you can make phone calls, but that's it. There isn't anything special about it. And I will hopefully I will on the screen right now have my two different devices, so my LG Tones NP3Cs as well as the LG Tone HBS 770s connected to my Zenfone 9, just to show the differences. So currently I am listening to some music, and you can see that if I press the circle, it does pause it. But you would hope that if you press it again, it will play it, which it does. But on a lot of devices, if you double tap or triple tap one of those buttons, it should go forward to go back. But all that happens is it brings up the Google Assistant. So single tap, pause, play, double tap, brings up the Google Assistant. So I have swapped the audio input from the MacBook's microphone to the LG Tone. I see that the little whatever typograph that you call it right there is registering that I am saying something. So hopefully you're able to hear exactly what I'm saying. This is just a microphone check in terms of the type of audio quality that you could expect from this particular device. Test, 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 test. 1, 2, 3. Now, one thing that I will say is that it is nice to see that even though the ceiling fan is still on right here, looking at the little graph, whatever it's called, when I'm not talking, it doesn't look like it's picking up that noise. When I am using the microphone on the MacBook, that noise is picked up. So maybe there's something that's going on here that's really suppressing some of those external sounds that aren't a voice. So if it is the case, do it on LG. If it's just the fact that these microphones are so small, and my body is in between the fan and the actual microphone, then so be it. But I haven't heard the audio yet, so we'll see exactly how good it sounds. In summary, I will say that I do think that these are a well constructed piece of equipment. However, they aren't serving the needs that I have. So unfortunately, I will be returning these. But it's all about the delight to dollar ratio from I forget his name, but this is Tech Today. He always says that, and that's true. If this doesn't provide any more happiness than the product that I already had and especially for how cheap these were, it's going to be hard for me to say, okay, this is worth keeping. Obviously, my perspective is going to be different from yours. My use cases are going to be different than yours. But for me, paying 3.5 times the amount for a reduction in functionality just doesn't make any sense. Yes, I know that my original LG Tones were used, so it's not a true fair comparison, but it's still okay. If this were twice as much, I'd say, all right, for $40, still maybe I could give it a pass, but for $70, no, I just can't do it. So if I could summarize the reasons that I'll be returning this, I don't feel that these are built well enough to withstand constantly being retracted and pulled in and out. There are no dedicated fast forward or rewind buttons. And I just feel like I paid too much.